Like here. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. We're coming to you live from Virginia Beach, Virginia for our live talk forum. My name is Lynn Rene MacDonald, and every week at 7:15 p.m. we do these shows here on Facebook. What is it? It's a live talk forum. It's the Live Talk Forum Metaphysical Show. It is designed to get all the answers from love. We teach love here, and any answers that you have, questions that you have in any area of your life and anything and all, we answer the questions that you want to ask, okay? This is from the past, from the present, from the future. It's metaphysical, it's earth world, it's whatever you want to ask, whether it's health, friends, family, pets, career, what's happening in the world, anything metaphysical you want to know about that's going on in your life. So tonight's show, we're going to do this, and we're also going to probably address a lot of the stuff that's going on right now in basically all over the world with the crazy chaos. So in the collective, we're going to be addressing that. And I'm just going to pass my tea here to Sophia so she can just put my medicine in here. I got some natural medicine that we're taking. And I got my sage here today, so we're going to do a little sage. We have a live audience here at the Institute for Christ Consciousness and the Copper Dragon in Virginia Beach. And then we have our live show here, people. Thanks for coming. I see y'all getting on. All right. And the show goes to, 8:45, I think? Not right, guys?
Yes.
We have Rachel and Jen here. Oh, and Debbie's has joined us tonight as well here in our main area. What? Debbie's going like this.
The Queen's wave.
Yeah. All right. So that's what's happening right now. We're all together here. We're going to have a great show. We're going to talk a lot about a couple of metaphysical stories and things that are going on that we didn't get to finish from last week. Crazy, wild stuff. What's going on in the astrology, what's going on in the world, your questions, and we have questions from last week, and we're going to have a good old time like always. Okay, so that said, Jen, do we have anybody from last week with questions?
We do. I'm not sure they're here yet.
Okay, so we'll put those off for now, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we're just saging. And Rachel, do you have anybody from last week with questions?
Nobody sent his.
Nobody sent either to you guys? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm going to do for tonight, I have a couple people who are asking different questions, and some of them are from my people. As you know, the show reaches all over the place with the internet, all over the world, so we have some people now, and we've had some people who watch from Ireland, from England, from Germany, which is really cool, so that's great. The more people share, the better. Again, remember, our show is on donation. If you can donate, do, in whatever way you feel from your heart. It's energy exchange. Okay. That said, we have some people, some new viewers who've come on and have asked me questions from South Africa, and it's like a 6-hour time difference, so they can't watch the show in real time because they're doing their own lives and the time difference in this particular case, with them. That said, I'm going to answer one of her questions. It's a person from South Africa. She asked me to remain anonymous, so I'm going to start with that tonight. And I also have one of our regular viewers, Steve, who is also asking some questions about some stuff, and I'm going to pull up his stuff right now. And we have Jen and Rachel, but before I start, can you tell me who's here? Anybody here yet?
We got Kinsey.
Hey, Kinsey. Good to see you.
We have Andrea.
Okay.
We have
Andrea.
Kathy, we have Jake, and we have Donnie Leatherman Ball.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks all for coming. And here in our space, we have Debbie, Jennifer, Rachel, Sophia, and myself. All right, live in Virginia Beach. Okay, so the first question I'm going to do, if I can get to it in my phone, is the lady who is asking a question from South Africa. And her question is this. She PM'd me. Okay. She says, "Hello, Lynn. I hope I'm not too early. So my question is as follows. My birth date is the 25/8/1972. So to me, and I didn't even ask her about this, so this is a good question. To me, would that be August 8th? Would it be the 8th month, 25th day, 1972? Yeah, so it's a little bit different. So we learn something new every day. That's cool. So her birthday is basically, it's backwards here, where she is. So, or backwards for us. It's August 25th, 1972. Okay, that's her birthday. She just turned 51 in August, and she's feeling a sense of change is happening inside of her, and she cannot really explain this. She needs guidance, please. She's less expressive and prefer to be in her comfort place and around less people. Not sure if this has to do with age. She said she even cut her hair, so she's doing a lot of different things now that she didn't do before. She said, let's see, she likes to be alone. She's not, she's cutting her hair, so she's making all these different things for change. And she's kind of asking me if I understand this right. I really explain this. I need guidance. She doesn't know what's really happening. Okay, at the age of 51, I'm gonna just say this. With all of us, there's something called a progress chart, and it's like the general guidance for all in humanity, of human beings. It's like, it's in astrology, it's called a progress chart. So it basically lays out your childhood, your adult, your teenager, as you age, the things that happen in your life and events. Her being 51 years old, okay, she's going through basically the middle of her life. She's starting in this. So this is going to hit her in multiple ways with many different things going on, okay? So 51 comes with, it's like right before her natal moon return. When you're really sensitive, you will feel these things beforehand, but also the massive transformation in the waves of energy that's in the transit, in the astrology right now, is changing everybody in the world. So my friend, this is what's going on for you as well as all of us. But in the progress chart of the astrology, you're also, I feel, getting ready to go into what you call is a natal moon return. And usually right after that, you'll have a Saturn return. And you can all look this up. It's in your progressed astrology. Okay, and you will have, like, usually the general way it works is that everybody has at least 2 natal returns, and if you're lucky, you have 3, because they come every 27 to 30 years. And when we say lucky, if you live to be healthy 90 or so, then you'll have a 3rd natal moon return. So but midlife is about the natal moon return, and what it's about is reevaluating your life. So this is what you are doing, my friend, since I don't want to say her name. All right, you are totally reevaluating what's going on in your life, who you are, the sense of your face, your head, your hair, right? That represents the self. It's super personal. No two people are exactly alike, as we know. So when you cut your hair or you alter your appearance, just like when we lose a lot of weight or we gain a lot of weight, or we have health issues that happen to us, people notice these things, right? Because it's the self, it's in our body, and it's our physical stuff that people see, our physical energy. So when you cut your hair, or you're feeling to cut your hair, you're making a change, right? Was your hair really long before then? Was it short? Why are you doing what it is that you're doing, right? So clearly you're needing change. Your soul is calling it in. So that's a haircut is all part of transformation. On the face and head is of the self, okay? So that's some of the stuff that you need to know, and everybody here too. Okay, this natal moon return and this energy of midlife, if you thought of it in a different way, you're starting to look at your midlife, where your life has gone, where you have been. We take into consideration our health, right? The general rule in human nature is we all go through these phases in our life, and it is also underlying in the astrology in our souls of your progressed chart. So these go hand in hand, and you can look at this in many different levels. You say, well, somebody's having a midlife crisis, they're going through a lot of change, they want to be alone, but also the transits that is happening in the now in the astrology are also playing a role here. The world is moving to higher elevation. We're being cleansed, as we have continuously been, whether you realize it, consciously say and agree to it. You would not be in this reality if you did not agree to the work that you're going to do here on yourself and in this reality to change it, or to be a part of it, and all that is God, that is love, for the big mission of humanity and all that is here in this earth world, right? So you've come in here for different purposes. So this said, at the age of 50, we go through a general change. Everybody does. It's different for each person, just like when we're 27, 28, 29. We also go through a natal moon return where we officially become an adult. Okay, that's the general rule. It's not 18. It is not 18 and 21 like they say in society. That's a societal earth world human being thing. Very different from actually being a real true adult according to God or love and in your timeline in the progressed astrology of every single soul. When you become 27, 28, 29, and during that time frame of your natal moon is when you change. You have a new life. You become an adult. You feel more solid in who you are. You grow up, you mature, you'll have a baby, you'll make life-changing decisions, you'll get married, you'll have a baby, you will quit not quit school, but you'll finish school, you'll get a new job, a new career, a new home. Huge things like that happen at these particular what do you call it, moon phases or progress moon time, right? This happens for everybody out here. We all go through it in some way, shape, or form. We may leave our lovers. So many things will change, but we become officially an adult, okay? According to the law, rule of earth world, and with all that is God, that is love in this reality. Okay, and you can look up progress moon and you can look up all these things, and I suggest that you do, because there's a wealth of information that's fantastic out there if you're interested in it to learn way more than what we have the time to cover here on the show. But when you become 57, that's like 27, 30 years later, or 50, not 57, but in your early 50s, and so you hit your midlife crisis time frame, which usually comes with your natal moon return. Then after that is your Saturn return usually. And your natal moon return for the second time is all about who am I, what is my legacy, what are my dreams. We realize that we are not immortal like we used to think when we were younger. We realize that our time here now on earth is limited, and it's limited in a different way. And who do I want to be? What do I want to do? How do I want to live my life? And this is what the second natal moon return brings in. What kind of legacy do I want to have? Do I want to have fun with the rest of my life? And what am I going to leave behind for my family, for myself, again, for my legacy? So basically, my friend from South Africa, this is what you're going through, okay? And this is normal. That's why you would change your identity. That's also why you want to be alone a lot more too. The energy is hitting you in these particular ways, along with all the transit energy in the stars. So you're going through it, everybody's going through it, and all of these different energies are applying themselves or interacting with your soul. It's all the energy of God and love and your heart, your soul, okay? So this said, that should explain, why you're going through what you're going through. It usually lasts, I think it's, is it 3 years, Rachel, the moon return?
I think 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 years, depends on, a few different things, that go on in your chart. But as a general rule, it's 2.5 to 3 years. The natal moon return, it's in your progress chart. It's very different from your traditional moon that moves very quick in your transit astrology. Okay, very different. So look up these things, because you'll learn about your phases and how you become an adult and why things happen and how these energies help you change you and address and do things in your life. It's really fascinating. Again, it's in the astrology. So my friend, that's the answer. You're going through massive change. You're working it out. You're figuring out. Some days you want time alone. Sometimes you want to be around people, but you feel in your heart what is right for you, and you be right where you need to be. Okay, and if you have more questions in reference to this, by all means, please ask. And thanks for watching, and thanks for all your people out in South Africa that do watch and spread the word. The more we change the world from love, the better, right? For all of us. All right, so thank you. Okay, so that said, that was one question, and then I have another one from Steve.
Steve's on.
He's on?
Yeah, he popped on.
All right, I have another one from Steve. Let me see if I can pull up Steve's question here. All right. And Steve, please let me know if I'm getting it right here. Let's see. Okay, so you sent me a piece. Order verification, order number. Okay. Thanks for your purchase. So obviously Steve has bought something. Here, let me see. Hi there, thanks for your purchase. We need to verify it. this transaction was authorized by you and to avoid issues in the future? If yes, we'll need a copy of one government ID card used for the transaction, showing only the last 4 digits of the card and the cardholder's name. We know it's a bit time consuming, but this is for your own security. Oh yeah, Steve. Oh yeah. Unfortunately, we'll have to cancel the order and refund your money if you can't provide us the information in 48 hours. Yeah, they're pressing all your buttons, Steve. They're saying, and this is great for scammers. This is great for scammers, meaning everybody needs to know about this. So thanks for sharing this, Steve. Apparently, Steve ordered some health stuff. The Code Age binder, right? And I think, actually, it's no joke, I have it right here. This is this stuff, right? I have one of these for us. These are great binders for clearing and helping you to move toxins out of your body. So Steve apparently ordered something, and somehow they're telling him that he needs a government ID, a card, and the last 4 digits of his card and his name. Anytime they ask you for something like that, no. It's a fuck you to them. So you're right on, Steve. This is absolutely 110% a scam. And even if it's not, then you don't do it. Either way, you don't do it, because this is all about getting your information, however way you look at it, as a traditional scam that we know of the past, or the crap that comes in for the new world. They're trying to get everything to do with everybody's identity, everybody's stuff, right? So the answer here, I feel this is absolutely a scam. And then the fact that they're stepping on your tail saying, you have 48 hours to get back to us or we're going to cancel your order. Anytime somebody threatens you in any way, shape, or form, or says your money's going to be gone, or anything like that, where they're really pushing you forward and they're making you like crazy emotionally, that's the whole goal there, is so that you impulse do. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't think about it. You react. Oh my God, they're making me crazy, kind of thing. Even though this is in an email, I wouldn't do it. I'd find a different buyer. I don't give a shit if it says Code Age all over it or what it says. I don't feel good about it. You don't feel good about it. And these are those signs, when they asking you for a government ID. I've never bought anything in my life before that asked me for a fucking government ID. In fact, I didn't have to send anything, other than, let's say, when I had a loan for a car, but I'm sitting here in the car dealer or something like that. You know what I mean? Where it's, or you're going to the bank where you have to open a bank account, right? And you're literally in the bank. It's not a scam yet. Okay, so you get my point. So yeah, this is absolutely no. And you said it here. I think this is bullshit. Not sure I want to do business with them. No, I absolutely know, Steve, that you can get that product at a million other places, and it's relative in the price. Anybody who asks you this, and this is great. So thanks for sharing, because it's really important that people know. You think people and companies are legit and they sell stuff through Amazon or wherever. I don't know where you found that, link, but, all these companies and stuff, you really have to check this stuff out. And anybody who asks you for more than, your credit card, when they're asking you for government IDs and all this validation and all that, no. That's not how it works. So if you're not sure, anybody out there, you feel it in your heart, you ask love, but your main signal is it doesn't feel right to begin with. And that's why you asked the question, Steve. You knew. You always know, people. If it doesn't feel good, even if you don't understand it, or you don't know why, or you don't get it, and it feels maybe only a little bit not good, either way, you don't do it. You sit tight, and you talk to God or you talk to love about it, and you make sure you know what the answer is. God, is this the truth? Is this the God's honest truth from love? And should I do this? And you'll get the answers. The answers will come in, and you will know, and it will come in multiple ways. And you ask for that validation, whether you should do this or not. And you sit back and you don't make a move. It's not going to stop anything. You'll still get your product or whatever that you need to get. You just may get it from somewhere else. But when those emotions happen, they happen for a reason. And now I'm going to tell a little story that happened to us from this week, which is absolutely insane. Okay, way back when, in like 2020, I think it was. Is that when COVID happened, you guys?
It's 2019 or 2020. I forget. It's 2019 or 2020. I forget.
Okay, so if anyone knows exactly, it's 2020, 2019, but all the stuff was happening, and God told me to go buy gold, and of course we did. We bought some gold, we stocked up on stuff, and we've talked about all of this on the show, and on and off with everything that's going on in the world. But how this relates to you, Steve, is the same way that it relates to this little segment here, where you're asking me a question, and you say, I don't feel good about this, right? Same exact thing, right? So I was doing business with this particular gold dealer, and everything's hunky-dory, and then everything's fine, right? And this goes on for a while, and then one day I'm sitting at the light, and I don't know who I was with, but somebody in my family at the light at some street, and I'm doing my thing, and I decide that I'm not going to go see this person anymore or do business with them, right? This particular gold dealer, and I'm like, what the fuck? All of a sudden, I don't feel right about him. Okay, and I'm like, okay, this isn't cool. Why don't I feel good about him? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, okay, God, you got to tell me. Why don't I feel right? What about this? What about that? You know, I just don't care for him at all. And I liked him a lot in the beginning, you say. Okay, that said, and he did some lovely things, you know, in terms of, you know, he gave me like as a bonus, I guess, to a purchase, he gave me a silver Michelangelo coin, right? And that is an angel, right? Not Michelangelo, Michael, I think it was. Archangel Michael was on the coin. I always call him Michelangelo. Universe tells me that's his traditional name. Interesting enough, right? Old world, Michelangelo. Pretty neat. So this said, but I just all of a sudden one day didn't want to go see him anymore, and I couldn't figure it out for the longest fucking time. Just like when you get these emails, or you don't feel good about somebody, or you don't know. Same thing happened with one of my exes. The same fucking thing. He wanted me to marry him, and I couldn't figure out why, but I just didn't want to marry him, and I was like, what the fuck, God? I mean, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, and then one day he lost his shit and temper with me, and I knew instantly when he came after me and grabbed me by the neck why I didn't want to marry him. You know, I was like, holy shit, and I closed my eyes and prayed. And that's what got me out of that. But it is those very feelings that I'm talking about right now that we all need to pay attention to, especially in these times. If you don't feel you should fly in that airplane, I don't care how small it is, and I don't care how desperate you are to go to Greece, to go to, you know, England, or wherever you want to go. This is happening because you need to take a look at it, and should you go? Okay? Are you doing the right thing? This is your soul, your highest heart self, your God connection protecting you. And in these times, which is why we're talking about this, this is super, super, super fucking important for all of us. All of us. So just like that boyfriend that I wouldn't marry, and I was crazy about him, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. He'd be like, let's get married, honey. Let's get married. And I'd be like, I was like trying to say yeah, but I was like, yeah, I couldn't. I just fucking couldn't, right? So I have to listen to my heart when that stuff happens. The same thing with this particular gold dealer that I'm telling this story about, because this is like creepy shit. Seriously, creepy shit, okay? So what happens is I don't suddenly care for him anymore, and I tell my whole family, I said, I don't know what my problem is. I feel like I'm being not a nice person. I feel like I'm being an asshole, not wanting to go talk to him, not wanting to go see him, and I had stuff on hold that I was supposed to pick up, and I never picked it up. But the whole time my soul is like not liking him anymore. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. I'm trying to figure it out. Well, this is story time, people. So wait till you fucking hear what happens now, right? So we've been going through it, as you all know. We have been going through it, and we have been working on these ancestral energy sessions. And unless we change our energy, we can't get to these answers that we have asked God for, whatever they are. And this is going to tie in to those feelings that I have about why I don't like this guy anymore. And it came on like a steam train, and I couldn't figure it out. And this weekend, all the bricks came tumbling in, and the wall was broken, and all the information came in too. So it's wild. So here is what happened. I didn't know it, but on a subconscious level, this dealer was in alignment with the devil. All right. He has a successful, super successful business. He did everything to charm me very nicely, not to date me or anything crazy like that. He was very professional, very nice. You know, we hit it off. He taught me so many things. But what he did is what the darkness does. It scoops you up and it makes you believe that it's your friend, and it's an illusion. It's a massive illusion, right? So I'm, liking him. He's very nice. We have a very copacetic relationship. I purchase some stuff from him periodically. I ask him to hold stuff. He's very nice. And then that one day, and I don't know why, I just kind of wake up and I don't like him anymore. And I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? So what happened is we did this energy session this weekend, and we've been going through it, this ancestral energy session. We have been going through it just like everybody. But we are taking on this stuff. We're removing blocks. And it comes into me, and I have this crazy dream, right? And all of a sudden, the book John Steinbeck's The Pearl comes in. Do you guys know John Steinbeck's The Pearl? It's like a literary classic from like when I was in 7th and 8th grade. Okay? This is like insane. And I remember this book because I had this English teacher that was madly, we just had a great relationship. And I don't want to say in love with me, but we just got along wonderfully. It isn't like that, weirdo shit or anything like that. But he loved me. And I loved him. And I got all A's in his class. And I just remember that book. And that book kept coming in. And I'm like, and then I wake up and I'm like, kind of like in a cold sweat. And I'm like, holy shit. John Steinbeck's The Pearl. And I've been wanting to, because we've been going through it, right? I had been wanting to cash in a piece of gold. And this is how that book relates to that one piece of gold, and why I don't talk to that man anymore in that particular shop, and why my feelings were the way that they were. So I have this one piece of gold, and I needed to cash it in because I was worried about paying the rent, and I'm freaking the fuck out, right? And the whole time I'm having apprehensions about it because it's like, it's a pretty piece of gold and I don't want to let it go. John Steinbeck's The Pearl, right? And I'm like, plus, it's not even about that. It's about my security for my family, for what's coming. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I had apprehensions about this for, I want to say, like a couple of weeks. I didn't want to get rid of it. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And then I had that dream with the pearl in it. And I knew that that fucking piece of gold had to go. It had to go. I knew instantly, because the moment I bought that piece of gold was the moment I no longer cared for him. And it is all part of the curse, believe it or not, that came with that fucking piece of gold over the last 2 to 3 years of the sicknesses and the things that we have been through. Crazy shit, right? John Steinbeck's The Pearl. This is so insane, right? Meanwhile, my daughter works for a restaurant, and the name of that gentleman is the same name as John Steinbeck almost. Except I think it's a different name. But it's the same Stein thing, okay? Another thing was in our lives was Stein Hilber's, a restaurant. I'm like, what the fuck? You'll see these messages over and over and over. And I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. Right? Because my life has been turned upside down, and I realize this piece of gold that I don't want to really let go of, I have to let go of it because I can't get out of this cursed energy that's been making us so massively unwell with everything in our lives. You guys have been through it with us. It's been a storm. And while I've asked God for huge things and all the stuff that I've said in the past is true, this is another metaphysical piece, or actually gold coin, really, literally, right? That brings with it incredible gifts of wisdom and how things affect us in our lives and in these times, the crap that can go on. So be aware, right? The reason my soul didn't like him anymore is because he had an agreement with darkness and gave me that cursed piece of gold. And his relationship with me was what would be the reason I would trust him and buy it from him. Crazy shit, right? Crazy shit. And I took it hook, line, and sinker. Classic human, right? And you want to do the right thing, and you want to believe that people in their hearts are going to do the right thing, and it's not going to be like that. But this world is satanic, man. It is toxic as all hell. We're really literally living in hell on earth, the dark matrix. So these are the kinds of things that sometimes are going to happen and are called in as part of our journeys for our learning and for our best health. And who would believe this? John Steinbeck's The Pearl. The Pearl. So this piece of gold, by returning it to this person, all right, releases that curse, and it lets him know that I know. You see? And the whole time I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm worried about this and I'm worried about that, and should I do this and should I do that? But nothing is true. I'm not thinking about it like it really is, right? This is an agreement between him and darkness to get this piece of gold to me and bring this toxic energy to me. And until I release that gold piece, it's not going to go away. Crazy shit, right? So, and this is all part of that learning and understanding. But if I wasn't doing the energy sessions, I wasn't talking to God or love all the time, then I couldn't get to the bottom of these things. It's absolutely insane, right? My daughter literally works in a restaurant where the last guy's name, who's one of the owners or something, his name is Stein, right? It's like, what the fuck, right? Here it is. Over and over and over. And if any of you know what happens in that book, I'm just going to give you a briefing. Call it your Cliff Notes for tonight. Cliff Notes, right? In that book, it's the story of, I think, a man who is in a lower, he's poor. He's socio-economically deprived. And I can't remember if he finds the pearl or somehow it's a pearl that's worth like a whole lot of money. And it's beautiful. And he finds this pearl, or it's given to him. But everybody who has had that pearl in the past has lived a cursed, awful life of torment and horrible things. And he holds on to that pearl until he can no longer. And if you think about it, we've lost our house. We've all become really sick. We've lost everything in it. I mean, it's been a fucking storm, and all these crazy things are happening in our personal lives. And I could name so much more than just these things, but it has everything to do with the time frame of when I got that piece of gold and why. And I also know this is massive truth, because instantly I didn't like the guy and I couldn't fucking figure out why. And then in time I ask God always, why is this, God, over and over? Why is this? Why is this? Everything in God's time. When it is time, and I open up the blocks in me, as in there was a little gold block, right? A gold block, right? So the gold is blocking me from my destiny, from my greatest health, from my greatest life, through the toxic gifts of that which it is, meaning you could think of it as greed and all those things, but this wasn't about greed for me. This is about higher knowing of God and being guided to go and buy the gold, but this was definitely the journey for me on multiple levels. It was about security. It was about taking care of my family, and I had apprehensions of letting it go because I wanted security for my family into the future, but I had to let it go because having that piece of gold brought all kinds of miserable shit to me, right? And my family. Yeah. And that's basically what happens in John Steinbeck's book, The Pearl. It's the same story, a very similar story, except that comes from greed, but it's all a learning space from love. However, it goes down on whatever layer of consciousness you're at with all this. But it's so important because I did listen to my heart, and I knew that I shouldn't go back to Bob because Bob, the guy who did it, ultimately betrayed me. Do you see what I'm saying? So, that said, it is what it is, okay? And that's okay. But the bottom line is I can't go there anymore. I can't do business with him at all because I know this in my heart. And if I went out there and even said anything to him or anybody else, for the most part, they're not in the space of God and they don't understand it. Do you see? So while he's not a bad person as it appears to all of us, I listen to my heart. I listen to my soul. My soul, why don't you like him anymore? Well, this is why I don't like him. This is why. So I can't go to him anymore. And I haven't gone to him ever since all this shit went down. And now I didn't go to him. I had one of my people go and take care of it for me from love. So guided by higher knowing, right? And so this is the story with this, so everybody knows, and it's incredible, because you really do have to listen to your heart, to your intuition, and you really do have to listen to it in all circumstances. And it's so, so, so important in these times. Okay, super, super important, because whatever's coming down the track with all the crazy stuff that's going on, as you all know, with Israelis and Palestine and the Gaza Strip, you know, all the aliens going into Europe, people, like, they're letting, you know, illegal aliens in the country. Nobody's vetting them, so to speak, or making sure these are healthy people to be coming to America and to Europe. But this is all part of their plan. Crazy shit is happening with riots, with you know, from what I understand, with where they're cheering on Hamas. I mean, that's like really, really super toxic. Okay, super toxic. But this is all the plan, the grand design to destroy our country, to destroy everything here. So now the ante is up, right? Even more so. There's all kinds of weird shit, like you know, the stuff that's happening in the Gulf, I think, with Iran, right? There's all kinds of boundaries, American traditional American traditional old world values or boundaries that are being pushed in this reality. Like pushed, you know, like the Israelis, or not the Israelis, the Iranians, I believe, they don't want our ships in their space. So because basically the rumor has it that they're stealing from other ships and they're using the government to do this, okay? Because we have world toxic government, world toxic darkness. So this is all some of this that's going on, all right? And you can see it's everywhere. It's from the Hawaii fires to the train derailments. There's other planes that are from other countries flying over our airspace and things like that. And people go, well, this is just testing, and this is just, they're just working with our military. You want to know what the answer to that is? Bullshit. It's bullshit. All of this is part of their grand design of darkness, and it's like infiltrating. So the ante is being upped here, people. So you really got to watch your back wherever you are. Make sure you're safe. Make sure you're protected. Make sure you know what's going on, and make sure, most importantly, that you listen to your heart. Your heart tells you not to go to that fucking grocery store, and you're thinking, I really want to go there because it's 2 minutes away, and why don't I just go? You don't fucking go. Sorry, you don't go. It's about your best health and your best well-being in these times. This is why we're doing the show. It's about talking to God, talking to love, always. And even though with that gold piece, I didn't know what was going on, couldn't tell you what was going on, right? I just didn't like the guy anymore, and I was upset about it because I liked him before. I did. But I found out all this, and it makes so much sense. So much sense. All of it. All the pieces come together. Okay? So, same thing is true with you, Steve. You don't do it with the scams. You guys really got to watch out. Don't give out your banking information to anybody. Don't give out your fucking information to anybody. That includes your social security number, any kind of IDs. You want to be really damn sure before you do, especially on the phone and over the internet, you know, because they will harass you. They'll get other people to harass you, other groups. They can sell your shit. I mean, it's all kinds of crazy and toxic. And this is what we have to be aware of. So always trust your heart. Just like us, if it doesn't feel right in my heart, I'm not going to do it. So there is your answer for Steve and everybody. Crazy story with that gold, isn't it? It's fucking nuts. Who would think that? Who would think that, right? It's hard to believe. But it isn't if you look at our reality and all the horrible, rough stuff we have been through, right? And we've been going through it. And the energy sessions, the ancestral energy sessions to release this energy over all this time is what brought us to this space to get those answers from that. The second I return this darkness to him, it tells him that I know. It tells him that I know, whether he understands it or knows consciously or not. Different story, but truth of God regardless. Because this is all the games that the darkness plays, this kind of shit. Okay, and it's super important. So look for us to seriously accelerate in our healing, everybody here, and for good things to now start happening with our new destiny, as this will be the proof again of what I have been saying. The hard times should now, this cycle should be over, and this is the kind of stuff that Algol Star calls in. All right, Algol in astrology, they call it the Death Star. It is astrology about beginnings. It is the star of beginnings and endings. And whatever space of God you're in, it's a star to be respected. Definitely respected, not feared so much. If you're doing the right thing from love, it's not something you should be afraid of. However, respect it is always. Okay, that said, great sage advice for these times. Be careful what you're buying, from who you're buying. Remember, ask God, the God's honest truth. And then instantly I said, if I got anything else, God, that has to go, that has some kind of toxic energy on it, in it, is unwell for us, let me release it now, please, from love. Thank you, God, for that for us. And in the healthiest, best way, from love. You see, clear my blocks that stop that from happening. Oop, and let me be happy no matter what happens. My rings are flying off. All right, transformation. All right, so that said, that answers a few of our questions tonight. What time is it, Jen? Do you know?
About 7:55.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've been on it for about 45 minutes. So those are the questions, a couple questions from last week, or from other people. And who else do we have? We don't have anyone on for last week's questions?
We do now.
Okay. What you got?
We have Donnie. She says, I have what seems to be such a good guy. He is super kind, sweet, and supportive. However, he has such an incredibly hard time letting me in. I feel like I have finally found my prince, but I am frustrated with his slow speed regarding getting his life together. We just celebrated our year anniversary. He is older in years around the sun, but geez, it is annoying for me, waiting for him to move closer and wondering how to grow this relationship without me pulling away.
Yeah, I heard that. I hope everybody heard it. I get it, Donnie, and this is still about the journey of self-love. It's always about self-love. So you've been together a year. From what I understand and feel, you guys have plans, or you have plans of what you want for this relationship. Maybe him to move closer, you guys to move in together, him to be more emotionally available, because really that's the problem. The problem is he's not emotionally available, so where are you not emotionally available in your life, with others, all different kinds of aspects of that. Okay, when people can't commit or they can't do what it takes, you have to give them a window of time as a boundary. What is acceptable for you? So this guy, and I don't know, you've been together and maybe he's committing, maybe he's not, maybe he doesn't want to get married, but he's not being forthcoming with it, or he's not, and we know this because he's not getting the job done. And always, since you should know, and we all should know since the beginning of time, anytime you want to do something, you do it. You don't want to do it, you don't do it. And this is true with people and relationships. It's a hardcore lesson, but it's the truth. So, wisdom for you, from higher knowing, is that you talk to him, but first, figure out what it is that you want from him. What do you want him to do? Do you want him to move? Did you talk to him about it? Where do you want him to move? Do you want to move towards him? Do you want to live together? You have to be really clear and really straight emotionally with yourself about what you want here. So the question becomes, do you even know what that is? Because a lot of the time, right, we think we want something, and then the person says, I'm going to drive up in my truck full of stuff tomorrow, right? That's what happened to me. And I'm like, and he said to me, and you would shit if I really did that. And he was right. Because really, the guy who couldn't have the relationship wasn't him. It was me. So I can't commit to this and that life. So therefore, he can't commit to those expectations. But the first thing you got to do is get clear with who you are, your dreams, what you want. Why you want those things. Okay? Super important. And then you have to tell him what it is that you want, right? But put it out there to the universe. Ask love to speak through you so it goes in the best, healthiest way. And you have to be able to talk to him and tell him what you want. And then you have to set up a deadline for you. Maybe he may say, you can have an agreed deadline. If he says, I'm going to move in with 6 months. Okay, 6 months it is. Now, you don't have to hold him to the T, but relatively in 6 months, if it hasn't happened, is this acceptable for you? Because remember, you love you, self-love, all right? Is it acceptable for me now to wait another year and a half at this point in my life to have a relationship with somebody or have a more intimate, emotional relationship with somebody? Is this okay that he still hasn't done what I need for me? And your partner and you have to have your needs met. whoever it is. Because if your needs don't get met, it falls apart. That's why we have so much divorce, because people don't realize, they think they know what love is and they have no fucking clue. And it's a whole bunch of dynamics that go on in there. And the very first one is self-love, but nobody talks about that when they're getting married. They're like, oh, I just love him and we're going to get married and we're going to la la la. And they're off in la la land, and it's a great, beautiful thing. And it can be in the healthiest spaces of love for sure. But that's not what's going on here. You know, in the reality of it, with all that is God, that is love, when you have a relationship, it's about working together. And if you're doing all the plans, it's never going to work, because you can't make the relationship happen when it's one-sided. None of us can. I ran into that with my ex. Oh, I'm going to come and be with you. I'm going to come and be with you. Never comes. Tells me, you know, we're going to be married. We're going to get married and I have a ring on, and tell the kids this, and then I find out he's married to somebody else. I mean, this is the craziest shit, but it's true. It's true. All right. And all of this nonsense had to happen for me to learn this or get this. Doesn't mean that it has to be a bad thing, but you're at a crossroads right now, Donnie, where you got to take this to the levels that you need for you, from love for you. And if your needs don't get met, it's never going to work. And this is for all of us. And many times, as we become older in life, we don't want to do what it takes. We don't want to make those efforts, right? We just don't. We just don't. I remember many times I would go see my ex and he'd be like, oh, meet me. I'm here. I'm over the bridge. I'm over the bridge. Well, that traffic over the bridge sometimes was 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And finally I was just like, you know what? Being with you for one night and having a great dinner and a wonderful evening together, right? And leaving in the morning or having breakfast or whatever for that one night, it just isn't worth this motherfucking traffic. I'm like, I'm not coming. And after a while, I wasn't going anymore, because he wasn't giving me enough overall in the whole relationship for what I needed. Truth be told. But really, in me, that was really all that I could handle. That's why I went to begin with. Because I can't be in a more permanent relationship. I would die if I had to wash his socks. Just my shit, right? As I learn and grow, you know, and that was, you know, a joke, but I'm not that person. I'm not your traditional housewife. I'm not your traditional partner. And as soon as I wrap my head around that, and let's face it, all of us on this show and in this world that are these high vibrational beings, we ain't normal people. We ain't. We ain't. We do so many different jobs, so many different gifts, so many different talents, so many different things. We don't sit still half the time. Right? And we have incredible dreams, and this is, you know, it doesn't mean we're better than anybody else. It just means that we can't be that traditional earth world wife or partner or any of that. You know, and I kept trying to convince myself for years that I could be that guy with one boyfriend after the other, and I'm not that girl, because I like to do what I like to do. And that's why that one time the guy came after me and grabbed me by the neck that one time. Why? Because he wanted me to stay home, and I'm his family now, and this is the way it is. And I'm like, I don't fucking think so. I'm like, that might be good for you, but it's not good for me. You're not my only family. I have another family over here, my mom, my sister, and my brother, you know? And why can't we all be copacetic and be a family together? Doesn't mean we have to live in the same house together, right? It's just all about love, all about coming from love. So I could talk endlessly about all these dynamics of what comes up in the energy and how it relates to, let's say, situations and stories and things in my life to share with you to help everybody understand, right? I could do this over and over. The bottom line is that's what's going on. And as we become older, we get set in our ways. And just like with going over the bridge, you know, I'm like, I'm too old for this shit. This might have been fine when I was 20 and I was all crazy about him like that, right? But, you know, let's say, but when I'm like, you know, 48, 47, 44, I'm like, yeah, this isn't so much fun anymore. Is you know, the old world saying that they say is, and I don't even like this saying, but what is it? Is the milk worth the cow or something?
Worth the squeeze?
Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the juice worth the squeeze? That's it. That's a saying that you know, we used to, you know, that applies here. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Because it's about energy. It's totally about energy. Is this going to be enough for me? Is this going to be enough for you, Donnie? Is this going to be enough for whoever it is? If I see him once every 6 months, or he can't be with me on the holidays. He can't be with my kid, or he can't be comfortable and have fun. He can't sit more than 5 minutes in the same room with me. You know, and there's people that I would like to go out with sometimes, I think, today, but they can't sit still, or they can't even be with somebody. And how can I be with somebody or have a fun time with them if they can't? Do you see? So these are all of those things, you know, examples, ideas, bits and pieces of the whole story here, where if our needs aren't getting met, we need to address those things in us, and it cycles back around. So you got to figure it out, what you want. You have to put it out there, universe. Ask love to speak through you and handle it, and then talk to him. And you create the whole situation. And if it is meant to be with love, set up those boundaries. You'll have it right on. And if he can do it, fantastic. But remember, the first time he fails, shame on you. The second time, shame on me. In other words, how many times you want to go through this, you know, just like my ex. The more he said, oh, I'm never going to cheat on you, right? There's one girlfriend after another, and one lie after another. And it's like, you know, if it is in the energy that he has a propensity for cheating and having all these girlfriends, he's not going to change because of you. It doesn't work that way. He must change because he doesn't want to be that guy anymore. Right? So all those women out there that say, I'm going to change him because I'm so beautiful and I love him and he's meant for me and we have this great relationship. Yeah, not really. Not really. Because these energies run in that guy, and it's up to him to change them. And as long as you are in a less than self-love space of you, you'll keep creating partners that do that kind of thing, that won't be there for you emotionally and in multiple different ways. Okay, so that's what's going on here, girl, and it's, you know, all of our self-love journey, and I know you'll handle it. You're great at what you do. Much love to you, girl. All right, so who's next?
She says you are right on, and she cannot wait to come to Virginia Beach and give you a hug.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm open for hugs, but not from demons. No fucking way. Oh, I've had my share this year. Holy shit. And that's all that's been going on in the shop. Why business has been like so down, and we've had all these dark energies, like dark witches and demons and all kinds of weirdo fucking dark shit, is because that stupid ass piece of gold. Can you believe that? It's fucking crazy. And I would have never in a million years believed this shit if it didn't really fucking happen to me. In this way, honest to God. And that's why we do the energy sessions, so we can get rid of those blocks where our beliefs stop us from getting the answers. And then how long do we suffer for because of it? Yeah. Heavy shit, right? Okay. That's it. What you got, Jen?
The next one is a call-in from Dee.
Hello.
Okay. Hi, Dee.
Good evening, ma'am.
All right. Here's Dee. She's calling in from Maryland. Okay. All right. So thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, if you can, just speak up as loud as you can, okay?
Oh, do you really want me to speak up that loud?
No, I don't want you to scream.
Okay.
We don't need any more drama than we already got. All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So what's going on?
So, after the energy session Monday, I had a really interesting dream, and I can't really put it to, like, I can't type it out.
All right.
So what happened was, after the energy session, went to bed. I have this dream that the Muppets from, like, Jim Henson's The Muppets are in my house, and I'm, like, hosting them.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there kind of puzzling out, what do Muppets eat? So I go and look at Kermit, and it's like, what do y'all eat? And he said, socks. And I go, okay, I have to go downstairs and get fresh socks. I'll make sock soup.
Okay.
And I go downstairs, and for whatever reason, the basement door is open. And I, like, what's going on out there? I kind of peer out, and Jim Henson himself is sitting on the grass, kind of patiently waiting. He's kind of like picking at the grass, like, you know, toddlers would, like they're pulling up the grass, kind of killing time type of shit.
Okay.
And that's the end of the dream. And I woke up and it's like, I need Lynn for this one. I can't wait for the live.
Okay. All right. So did everybody hear the dream? Just send us a yes on the screen if you can. So just let me know if you heard Dee's dream that she had after the energy session. I'm gonna ask God what the God's honest truth is, because I'm feeling like you want to know what this was all about. Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't know how to parse that one out.
Okay.
They hear you.
Okay. Thanks. All right. So your dream, it's really about your soul working out a ton of stuff as usual, right? Because you're very complex. You are Scorpio energy. You're a Libra. You're Scorpio Libra. We've talked about that. So you're very complex. You're not a simple soul, so to speak. Okay. So this would make sense that this has a lot going on in this dream, especially with the releases and the energy stuff. Through the energy sessions. So it's common after energy sessions to have these kinds of dreams and release stuff, release emotions, and release visuals that you've had, of the past, of this energy. It's all about release your emotional stuff and all energy that is associated with that coming out of you. So this is about releases. This is about opening also new doors for creativity. If you think about Jim Henson was no dumb fuck. He was really, really gifted. Putting aside all the crap that goes on in the world, Jim Henson was known for the Muppets and that whole creative avenue that at one time was really, really popular and really, really well known. Okay. So with this comes a childlikeness. He's outside, sitting outside in the grass. And then the Muppets, you're hosting the Muppets, right? So there's a whole childlikeness of this. There's a whole creativity. And I feel like your soul literally called him in because you're looking for that last puzzle piece that you do not have. Your soul is doing this on a subconscious level to get to the fruition or the manifestation of your books. It has gone on for so long. Without this energy work that you are doing, without the spiritual work that you do, you couldn't get to these avenues to really bring it to that level, a Jim Henson kind of level, a creative kind of level for you. Because you have to release this emotional shit that you got in you, because it's blocking you from being that guy. Because emotion is creation. Creation is art, whatever art form it comes in. Do you see? So this is what your soul is doing. It's putting the pieces together, opening those doors, going into different dimensions and different realities, and Jim Henson and the Muppets is part of that. All right, socks. Why socks? When you wear socks, your feet are warm, they're comfortable, there's a form of protection. It's kind of like shoes. What am I wearing? What am I wearing? I'm going to put on my socks, my big girl socks or my creative socks, right? Who makes sock soup, right? You talked about making soup. That was sock soup for them to eat, did you not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is all about expanding creatively, being able to tap into the emotional space in your soul that has been so shut off for lifetimes, that your whole life in this life has not allowed you to get to this space to have that level of success in all ways, in the books and in the art that you want to do in this way. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is massive. This is massive transformation. It's fascinating. You okay?
Oh, yeah. I was just kind of reflecting. It is like when he died, it was kind of a sad day for me.
Yeah.
Even though I was like a tiny little thing at the time. Because I saw, like in the buggies, there's like the little seats for the shopping carts and all that.
Right.
The mom plops the kid in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was eye level. It was a magazine with Kermit the Frog and Jim Henson. And I said, "Who's that?" And my mom said, "That's Jim Henson. That's Kermit's daddy. Kermit's daddy died." And I just kind of, and just kind of shut down for the day.
Right, right. And it makes sense that it would go, that she would, not that she said the right thing with all of that. All right. However, there is so much more. It kind of just reflects what happened in your childhood where your father died and you're shutting down your creativity. And here is her telling you that. And that's what has happened. Do you see what I'm saying? But it's not just about those. It's where you're emotionally shut off because there's too much pain there. And until you release those emotions, those feelings, that energy that is so painful, it doesn't go away. But it also affects us in all these other ways where we can't make abundance, or we can't live our dreams. We can't do the art that that really rocks our socks off. Do you see? We can't do those things because we are stunted emotionally. And if you're stunted emotionally, you can't have those dreams happen. And everybody's going through some form of this in this world right now with all of this. So thanks, Dee, for sharing. Anything else? Are you good?
No, thank you very much. And
all right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. I'll pass you to Jen. All right. There's Dee. She's saying bye. Bye-bye. All right. So, okay, so who's next with questions?
We have Kinsey, and she is asking what's going on with the transits right now, so I pulled up a chart for you.
Oh, Rachel. Rachel's got transits right now. Is this your chart, world chart? What is this?
I did a natal chart just for the day and the second and the moment that it is, so what's happening right now in the sky.
Okay. So this is like if it was the birth date of somebody born today right now.
Yes.
Got it. All right, so in this said, that's interesting. All right, so Kinsey wants to know what's going on in the stars.
Yes.
I'm like all confused because this isn't where I usually look at it in my chart. All right, so, whoa, this is incredible. So, here we go. Kinsey, you ready? Kinsey wants an astrology workout of what's going on here in our reality, and we have Uranus at 22 degrees. Algol, I believe, the Death Star Algol is at 23. End of cycles. This is why I had to get rid of that brick of gold or whatever it was, that block of gold, right? Same thing. It's about end of cycles. End of cycles, the 23 is when it really goes exact, if I'm not mistaken. So that's in Uranus and Taurus in the Earth world, and it's right on top of us. And it's so crazy because it really does. I was thinking about that earlier. I'm like, God, what is going on that all this crazy shit is happening, right? Algol is the Death Star, right? So if you think about it, Hamas, things like Hamas and terrorist groups are really pretty wicked shit. Mm-hmm. But know that Algol comes for you. It spares no one, right? Yeah. So this is incredible stuff, guys. Just incredible. All right. So Algol, this is a great catalyst. Now it's everything in the stars that is God, that is love, that is creating all this. But Algol is a huge catalyst. The stronger it gets to its exact position, that Uranus gets to being conjunct that, and Uranus is your electrical planet of the collective and of humanitarian work or totalitarianism, and it is about explosions, sudden things happening. So when that bitch hits, excuse my French, Algol, I mean, it's already happening in the energy. You can see by what's going on and all the things that we talked about today in the collective. If it's not, Vladimir Putin and, or the Russians and Ukraine, China and Japan, Iran and America in that Gulf over there. I mean, so you're looking at tons of crazy shit happening. And you have Jupiter, right on the ascendant, which is wild. And this is your ascendant is like a variation form of your life path. It's who you show the world. And what's crazy about that is Jupiter is right on top. This is the world chart, who you show the world, who the world is showing you it truly is. That's fucking crazy. Jupiterian style. Huge. It's not just one war. It's multiple wars. This is insane, isn't it? It's just crazy. But that's what's going on, and it's in Taurus, in Earth world. Taurus is about things. Taurus is also about gold. It's about beautiful things. It's the planet Venus, all right? It's about the financial markets. So shit is gonna be coming around the corner and hard and massive more explosions and all kinds of crazy shit. because we are at that time, okay? And remember, everything in God's time, which is why I tell you what we do and teach. Talk to God, talk to love all the time, and you will be just fucking fine. No matter how many wars are out there, how many poisons, how much crap is going on, whether you can eat or not, whether you have no water, whether you have no house, ask and you shall receive. Whatever you need will be given to you, will be brought to you. Your needs will be met. Like nobody else's business. This is why what is most important is your connection to God or love with your soul, with your heart, and being in your heart. Because remember, all those dark terrorist groups and all this crazy shit and anything of the darkness, what goes around comes around. The universe is going to return its gold to it. No joke. No joke. All right, so Kinsey, that's what's going on here. Big, huge shit. And it's funny because Jupiter is right at 12 degrees in Taurus, and 12 is the number 3, which is active God. This here says 13 degrees, interesting enough. We have a couple different numbers with the Taurus in here in this chart, right? What's interesting, 13 degrees would be the number 4. So I feel like it's right between those two, and 13 degrees would be the number 4, which is the number of completion. Okay, so really, really neat. Then you have Aries, you have your South Node in Aries, things of the past, rehashing, happening in our reality, right? How many fucking times has Israel and the Palestinians gone at it over in Gaza? It's a fucking nightmare. You know, it's a horrific thing of toxicity, okay? And it's where people don't come from love. And this is why these things happen. They can't come to agreements. They can't share the land. They can't come from love. And so we go back again to move forward. And Aries is your what? Your warrior sign. Mm-hmm. So you have the South Node in Aries, and it's getting to almost like a changeover into Taurus. But you have that South Node in Aries, so that tells you it's on. You have the Chiron, the world Chiron in Aries as well. And you know what's funny about that? Aries and Chiron, if I believe I'm not mistaken, there's a bunch of shit, but one of the main cores of what happens with Aries and Chiron and Aries is it's my way or the highway. I'm not going to listen to what you say. I'm going to do whatever I want. That's the Chiron in Aries. I do it like this. So yes, Jennifer, my sister Jennifer has
like, oh my God, I do that.
Yep. My sister Jennifer has her Chiron in Aries, right? And, you know, I'll ask her, I don't like fucking tell her, I'll be like, Jennifer, I need this, or could you please do this? And then Jennifer will go off and do it her own fucking way, or won't do it, or does whatever the fuck she wants. That's Aries and Chiron. Is that not what the world is doing? It's like, fuck you, I'm going to attack you, you're not going to tell me what to do. And then it's all warrior energy. So we have a lot of this going on. And I can show you basically in this chart that Rachel has pulled up. Thank you, Rachel, for doing this too. I don't know if you can see. If you want to take a quick screenshot, maybe. Hopefully it'll be clear. But over to your one side is your rising sign, and that is where it's over to the left if you're looking directly at your chart or the chart that you're looking at, okay? So this is where your ascendant is. Your ascendant is your life path, world life path, returning to the past. That's the 12th house Aries, okay? The demons of the past, okay? And as well as Pisces, that's your demons, your psychosis, your nut jobs, your illusions, your disillusionment. It's also your past lives. So all of these things in the South Node are going to be, you know, we have actually the North Node in Aries, so that brings it to this reality. Excuse me, it's not the South Node, it's the North Node in Aries. And so your North Node is going to bring all these things into this reality from the past, because that's the 12th house, which is Pisces, and Pisces is your house of the past. So massive amounts of stuff is going on right now out here, and it totally reflects in the chart. In the 11th house, we have Neptune in Pisces. Again, your 11th house is your humanitarian stuff. All right, so you have Neptune in Pisces, and you have Saturn on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces. And so there's a lot of disillusionment in the world. And there's a lot of fuck you, it's my way or the highway. So you're going to run into that. You're going to run into a lot of people who are not in their hearts, both on a personal level and across the board in the collective, and that's what's happening. So remember to protect yourselves. Be wise. You don't know what to do? Ask love, and you will know in the moment. You will feel it instantly what you need to do in any situation, no matter what happens. There are always earth world things that you can do to protect yourself as well, right? Like look around in the parking lot. Make sure you park if it's going to be late and dark. Make sure you park in the light. Make sure you park where there's people. Make sure you check your car, that you know what's going on in your car, you know, that there's no weirdo shit going on there that you're not aware of. You know, be aware of the people around you. Be aware of where you are in traffic. Be aware of what time of day you're traveling and where you're traveling to. I mean, all these things are super, super important for everybody in these times, because they've let in a whole bunch of people here. And it doesn't mean that I have something against immigrants and stuff. We are all immigrants. But this is about toxic unwellness that they are driving through darkness into this reality to destroy everything that America is. So get ready, because our goal, the storm is coming. It's already here. And so, but we all have to, you know, take care of ourselves, and we all have to be a team from love. And we can do that, and we are doing that. And that's what this show is about. Okay, and I'm going to move into other placements now, but your biggest, most important gift, as I've always said, is love, is working with God and being in your heart, okay? And whether you call it God, angels, universe, as long as you understand that it is love, okay? That said, you have Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto wavers back and out, in and out as it stations and then moves. All right, so you have Pluto in Capricorn in the 9th house. Bordering the 9th and 10th house. It's on the MC. That's crazy. All right, so if Pluto is on the MC of the consciousness of the world, everybody's careers and lives are changing, because your MC is that which is your career, your destiny, your dreams, your new life, right? So Pluto on there is massive transformation in who you are. At 27, I think it's 27 degrees here. Right, there's 2 different degree marks. It's between, I think, 26 and 27 degrees. 27 is the 9, and 26 is the number 8. 9 is endings of cycles in Capricorn, and 26 is 2 is about partnerships. 6 is about humanitarian work, and also abundance and earth world and health. So you have a lot of different numbers going on in here. Partnerships, earth world cycles, those numbers are about that as well, the 2 and the 6. So Pluto is madly about transformation. So it's between really the 9th and 10th house. It's in the 10th house, but it's cusping both Capricorn and Aquarius. So huge things going on. Humanitarian work, doing the right thing, coming from love, new world destinies. That's Pluto, transformation in your career. On the opposite sign is your IC, which is your Cancerian energy, which goes hand in hand, Cancer and Capricorn again. And your IC is about your family, ancestry, your DNA. That is super connected, your inner child. All right, if you think of IC as I'm Coeli, right? If you thought of the IC, the letters, inner child. Yeah, pretty wild, huh? Yeah, you have to heal that to be able to live your greatest life. You have to be able to heal everything in your soul, and it shows you the importance, because your inner child is your creative space, it's your heart space, it's your passion. And if you can't heal that, you'll never reach that high-end destiny of your goals and dreams to the levels that you truly want in your heart. It's impossible. So this is why the ancestral stuff and the energy work and everything that we're doing in these times, along with what's going on in the chart, is so important. Okay, so, and interesting enough, your IC is there. The 4th house is Leo, Cancer, Leo. Cancer is the family. Leo is the heart. Okay, so family is about being in your heart. Cancerian energies, your subconscious soul. Let me see where else we go. We got the moon in the 5th house, which is Leo. You have your black moon Lilith in the 5th house as well. Leo, the 5th house is world stage. It is world stage, okay? So world stage means, you know, this is what's happening here. Venus, you have Venus, the moon, and your Chiron all in Virgo, okay, in the 5th house. Interesting enough. The moon is in the 5th house, the subconscious stuff, the darkness behind the scenes, that would definitely be coming to the surface In the 5th house, stuff to heal your heart. Healing your heart would bring abundance with the Venus sign, okay? And then your Chiron, or your Black Moon Lilith in this particular case, rather. Your Black Moon Lilith is at 0 degrees, man. Can't get any more spent or exact than that, right? It's 0 degrees between your heart, all right? Your emotional heart, your passion, and your Virgonian energy where you don't feel. So that's interesting. So you're going to have battles of head and heart, subconsciously and consciously, and that's really what's going on in the world, in the collective, and in all of us on a personal battle, right? We have the Black Moon Lilith, which everybody talks about as darkness and is the darkness in us. So you can definitely look up Black Moon Lilith in Virgo and Black Moon Lilith in Leo. Okay. Let me see what else. So lots is going on. You have the Sun in Libra. That's that time for negotiations, and Libra is your negotiating sign. You have the Sun in Libra. You have Mercury. You have the South Node over there in Scorpio. Taurus. Is it in Scorpio? It's right on the edge of Libra, so it's in Aries. So you have your South Node in Aries, counter opposite your North Node always. And then you have your Mars, interestingly enough, on your descendant, and it's in Scorpio. Okay. Mars is a bear. All right. So lots going on over in the 6th house, the house of health. The Sun is the self. Mercury is the way you think and communicate. Overall, your vertex is person, place, or thing. That's your new beginnings. That's in Libra. That's in the world. That vertex is a person, place, or thing that changes you forever. And that's what's happening in the destiny of what's going on in the world. Person, place, or thing. Right? Vertex is in Libra in the 6th house. Okay? And that's the house of Virgo. Virgo means business. All right? It's health. So think about how many people are going to be dying of sickness and poisonings and illnesses and war, because this has everything to do with that. Your vertex. These are the events and the things that change us forever and change the world. Scary times. And of course, your descendant borderlines all of this. Okay, your 6th house. All right, and you have Mars right there. So Mars is all about war. This is about war that's going to change us forever as well. So lots is going on. Kinsey, a lot. As you guys can all see, a ton of stuff. A ton of stuff. You have your part of fortune in Gemini. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Your part of fortune is where the world will make most of its money. Or the world energy, your part of fortune is in the 2nd house, which is in Taurus here, and it's in Gemini. Gemini is like multi-personalities, multiple ways you could make money in these times. And that can be interpreted for multiple things in multiple ways. All right. Okay, so that said, I think we answered a lot of really good questions to give you guys ideas of what's going on and why these things are happening, because I could probably go on for a while. But because we got other people's questions and all kinds of stuff going on, we're going to move on. So thanks, Kinsey. Thanks, everybody. I hope you got great information from it. And I'm just going to see if I can just put it up there again in case anybody else wants to look. And you can screenshot it and look more into these placements. It'll tell you more about what's going on. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so that said, do we answer everybody's questions, or we got more questions? And what time is it right now?
It's 8:33, and we have a couple more questions.
Okay, let me just ask anybody here. Debbie, do you have any questions or anything? No? Okay. How about you, Jen?
Not tonight.
Okay, Ray?
No, I'm good tonight. Thank you.
Ray? These people don't got any questions. Sophia? Question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sophia's got a question.
I have this idea for this, I guess a whole bunch of projects that I want to do art-wise, and I'm kind of being cryptic because I kind of want to keep a surprise for you guys, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
But I was wondering how you felt about it, because I feel like I am worried that you guys aren't going to think that it's good enough. Or,
Yeah,
I was just wondering how you felt about it, because I feel like in a lot of ways I could be more original. If that makes sense, but I like the idea a lot, and I just want to do it.
Well, if you like it, ask love that you do it, and you make it original for you. Original in all ways from love. In the best way for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm getting do it. Do it.
Cool.
Okay? Yeah. Let's clear your blocks that are afraid that people aren't going to like it, and any kind of toxic like that where we don't feel good enough. Let's clear all that energy that is all associated with this so that you can do it and you do it. Because those are the things that stop us from doing great work and living our dreams and being alive. You know what I mean? Yeah. So thanks God for this release now, please, for us, for Sophia and all of us, of all this energy and emotions and all that is this that we're talking about now. And put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us in our souls. And in all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us and all of something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. Okay?
Thank you.
That's how you do it, people.
Whoa.
Yay! Right? You good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I got to it before you even finished the question.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. So who else we got?
We have Alan Parliament.
Okay. Alan! Hey, hey!
He says that he feels like his ancestors are under attack. He's a descendant from Ukrainian Jews, and he's witnessing more onslaught of his people, he is saying. He feels the world is trying to erase him. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about.
Okay. Regardless of what's going on and all the bullshit out here in the world, the truth is there's many people dying, and it's a horrific thing, and it doesn't matter what race it is, or what country it is, what religion it is, what ethnicity it is. What is that these are people. These are people. So I can understand, Alan, why you would feel this way. You feel your people, absolutely. I do feel this is part of your gifts to feel so hard and so much, your spiritual gifts. Definitely, for sure. Let me just see what else comes in. There will be many more people who will feel massive loss with everything that's going on with the world, and there'll be a sadness for humanity. So this makes sense to me that you're feeling all this with your gifts. A good idea, you know, and people may say, well, you say that all the time, but journaling is really important. If you feel like writing or talking into your phone, recording the notes, getting it out, it's your feelings is really good, because there's huge gifts for you to share with people here, Alan. And you know, in terms of what you're going through, you know, document it through the day, how you're feeling. Let me just see. Did he ask any more specific questions with this, Rachel?
He didn't really ask a specific question. It was just kind of voicing how he was feeling with
Okay.
everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's understandable. I mean, this is incredible stress, really, for all of us. Incredible stress. Whoever you are, whatever country you're from, we're all going through it. It's like being in a fucking blender, you know? And so all your emotional stuff is going to come out. It's going to come out. It can't not, because it's so incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. So I do feel that you have a gift. I do feel you really feel hard. It's all part of your creative gifts. Writing is going to help you channel that out and get it in a healthy space for you to be able to work with it consciously, where your emotional stuff won't get in the way of it. And then you'll be able to utilize this energy for your new destiny with whatever you want to do with it on a conscious level, being able to work with it. If you keep feeling sadness, in time the sadness will release. But by doing all this writing and documenting all this stuff, if you feel called to do so, this will release this energy and give you actually the gifts of the magic that this gift that you have, even more so, to feel, to be more sensitive, to do incredible things, of the things that you are dreaming of and have asked God or love for in this reality. So this is like D, it's clearing out those blocks, it's putting together the puzzle pieces. She did it in a dream and through an energy session. You're doing it, your soul is doing it itself through these particular ways. And there's multiple ways our souls do all of this, you know, where we heal ourselves and work on us and release stuff. There's multiple ways. So I do feel that that's what you're doing, and it's so that you can do some incredible things that aren't necessarily what most people say, like real in Earth world. But I feel like you have some incredible ideas and dreams and things that you want to bring into this reality, and I feel 110% sure that you can bring them in. And this is part of you heading into that direction. Okay? All right. Any questions he has with that, did he say?
No, he said thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited to see what happens. Let me know. Let me know. All right. So who's next? How many more questions we got? What kind of time frame we got?
It is 8:40.
Okay. And at least I got to tell you at least one of my stories. I have 2 more at least. All right, so we got to catch up for next time too, right? Okay, so Jen, 2 more questions we got?
I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
But Nikki Opper last week, she said, after the energy session on Monday, I've been binge watching World War II documentaries about the Nazis and British serial killers. What the hell am I clearing? Laugh out loud.
Yeah, that's funny. A lot of times it's clearing, Nikki, for you to watch these things, right? It's clearing, it's learning, it's assessing. I do feel like you're going through like character assessments here. You're looking at these people, these times, these situations, how the people acted, the things that they wore, energy from those times, energy from all of this kinds of different humanity behaviors. I feel you are putting together, your soul is putting together the pieces. It's going on like a massive learning spree. It's not necessarily that you're releasing all of this stuff. There'll be stuff, it's multiple layers. You will be releasing some stuff for sure. However, it is more about your journey to the next steps of what your dreams are that you've asked God for. Again, just like Alan, just like Dee, everybody has asked for incredible things. So this is what's happening. You are going like crazy with this. I remember for a while I was watching, I swear to God, I watched the Twilight series over and over and over and over, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But I was learning so many different things, whether it's connecting with darker worlds and vampires and dreams and illusions and crazy super sick love stories and monsters and characters and human characters and all the things. And it's done on a subconscious soul level and a conscious soul level in multiple different ways that we necessarily don't even understand. Okay? Doesn't mean that we have to understand everything all the time. We do not. We just have to roll with it and trust God and trust our souls and trust love. That this is why this is happening. Just like when I got the message that I didn't like that guy anymore, you know, with the gold thing. Same thing. I have to trust that even when I don't understand it. Ask and you shall receive. All the answers will come, but they will come when it is time. They will come in God's time. And if you need it quicker and right away, you ask for those things, right? But sometimes, like in my case, I had to go through all of this to get to the answer, to be able to find it, because this was the journey. So it comes in all these different ways. But that's what I feel like you're doing. You're kind of binge watching stuff like this. You're learning about the human psyche. You're learning about history. You're learning about humanity. You're learning about so many different things having to do with all of these things. And it's all part of your journey for the future that you have for your dreams, right? That heart space, that inner child, that everybody has going on in them. All of us have that. And living those dreams, living our greatest lives, truly being happy. This is what we really came here to do. Not to be miserable, not to live in the matrix. This is all part of it. It's about healing ourselves and living our greatest lives. So the world is going to be massively changing. And it's going to be pretty exciting. But we too are going to be changing on a personal level. On a personal level, just like with everything that's going on. I said to my sister, I said, I don't know why, I'm excited. I'm excited that all these things are happening in the world. And I'm like, what the fuck? I wouldn't want any of these miserable things. But I know that I'm so protected by God or love, as we all are. So I am secure, right? I'm not afraid. Crazy enough, I'm not afraid. Just not afraid. Because in this space of God or love, we are super protected. Super protected. And this is for everybody. You shouldn't be afraid. You have all the gifts and tools that you need. And the excitement comes not because I want all these terrible things, but because we are finally moving forward into a different space of where love or God or universe and angels are taking us to change the world, for good things to be happening, to freedom from this darkness, freedom from this matrix, freedom from all the miserableness and suffering. Yeah, sometimes you have to go through it, earth world suffering, to get to those spaces, but it is better than staying stagnant and suffering forever. That's why Saturn is such a bear. That's why being sick is such a bear. When, you know, sometimes Aries, people think Aries is the demon and it's about war and accidents and horrible things happening to people. You know what's cool about Aries? Is that it's in and out, gone in a second. It's quick. It's quick. Saturn squeezes the living shit out of your soul. Has the ability to. When you don't get the message, great suffering happens. Great suffering. And Saturn is Father Time. It's about karma. It's about long term. It doesn't fuck around. So when you go through Saturnian suffering, you're grateful for, exit out through Mars. Just to have a whole different perspective on how you see sickness, death, dying, a whole new energy there, right? Do you want to see the people you love suffer? Because really the real demon here is suffering, not death and dying. You're just transforming. The real demon is pain and suffering in multiple different ways, really, if you think about it. That's why Saturn is such a bear. At least when you think about Neptune, right? People lose their minds, right? They're not present. It's a horrific thing when you think about stuff like that, but not for the person. Person ain't here. You know what I mean? A lot of times, but there's a whole transition there and it's tough for everybody. But that too, Neptune, Pisces is great suffering there too. Right? But if I had to look at it as one versus the other, none of them is in any kind of toxic that I want to be in. Okay? Same thing with the Mars, But there are good things in everything. All of these things. Just like I said, when people lose their minds, they're not present. They're not suffering. They're in different dimensions, different galaxies, different spaces in the moment, they're not present in this reality. So while the hard thing is for the people around them, really, and the challenges that comes with that and taking care of them and missing who they were, they're suffering out there. But ultimately nobody wants that for themselves or anybody, not really in a healthy space of God or love. But these are some of the gems that come with it. You understand? Just like dying in a car accident would be Aryan. Dying from being decapitated, we would go, oh my God, that's Aries. He got decapitated, or Algol, right? He got decapitated. But it goes quick. Nobody wants to go through that experience and it looks horrific. But there's not massive suffering in that moment, like there is in so many other different things. So, everything is about energy and learning, like we're talking about here, about death and dying and suffering and the different planets that bring in different energies with this, it's crazy. It's really crazy stuff. But, I know we went way over here with this, with the death and dying and stuff. But did we finish the question? What was the question? Was there any question that we had in here?
We were just interpreting.
Okay. I didn't know
what she was releasing.
Huh?
What she was releasing.
Who?
Nikki.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we went into this other space over here with the death and dying stuff. So apparently it was really important, and I got so in the zone that I forgot what the hell I was doing. So here we go. Right. So out of the zone and back in. So yeah, with this death and dying and all that, we're exploring stuff like that. I feel all of this has to do with everything that you're doing, Nikki, with your soul. So the planets, the experiences, because all of this comes with war. All of this comes with the movies, the things you're exploring, death, dying, tragedy, suffering, and all the different variations of suffering as well, because this would not have come in this way if it wasn't for you. But it's for all of us as well, as we go through and we think we see horrific things, and because there's wonderful gifts in everything. The question is, can we see them? Yeah, crazy in our human spaces. We get get nuts with it, right? All right, so that said, I'm going to wrap it up. What time is it, Jen?
It is about 8:50.
Okay. Anybody have any last questions before we go? Okay. All right, guys, as you know, the show is on donation. If you can donate, please do. If you can, tell people what we do, share what we do online, on the internet, tell people about our shop, our center, and the more we spread the word from love, the better. And however way you can donate, whether it's doing it that way or sending money, however you choose, is great. Just follow your heart, be in your heart, and thank you so much ahead of time. And we'll see you next week at 7:15. Thank you all for coming. Exciting night it was. Lots of cool stuff going on, and thank you. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7:15. Thanks.